Sooraj, welcome to our I2E Knowledge series. Super glad to have you here.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks for having me.
absolutely. Maybe before we start, if you can give a quick intro about yourself and about Carrom, that would be great.
Yes, so I'm basically a software engineer. Uh, I have been writing code for a long time, and like my last stint was Carrom. Carrom was a payroll software for remote teams, and it recently got acquired by Oyster. It's a UK San Francisco-based startup, and now I'm working with the product team in Oyster to expand their global employment platform.
Sure. If we can go back a little bit, when this all started, right,
Yeah.
about your journey. When we connected offline, you mentioned about going to an MNC, start for a job, and then later
Yes.
on
Yes. Yes.
started working with Freshworks. Maybe if you can give us a rundown about that journey, that'd be good.
Yes, sure. So I completed my engineering 2014 from Thrissur itself. So Vidya Academy, it's a college here. So that's a college. I got placed in TCS, and when I joined TCS Chennai office. TCS was not my thing. It's not what I expected, what I wanted doing as a computer engineer or whatever I wanted to be.
Right.
So I left TCS very fast in few months, and I got an opportunity to work at Freshworks.
Right.
Then it was Freshdesk. Now it is Freshworks. It's a big SaaS company in India. I joined there as a front-end developer. Uh, Worked there for almost 2 years.
Okay.
And during my stint, I met like some really smart people. We are still in touch. We call ourselves Castle Black. So that's my very close group of really smart people I always talk to. Uh, and a few of us, we started MarketFox. It was a marketing automation tool, very much like HubSpot, but more new gen,
Right.
more targeted on mobile devices. And again, we got a great opportunity to move to Bay Area. We got into Y Combinator, spent a few months there. Again, very like life-changing opportunity, meeting a lot of smart people.
Right.
All these people you have only saw in Twitter, like meeting them in real life, having a conversation with them. It was really life-changing, both personally and professionally life-changing. But unfortunately, MarketFox didn't take off. We never generated enough revenue to become a big business as a big VC-funded business. Eventually, shut that down. Sorry. Yeah, I eventually shut that down, and uh, sorry, I have notifications and stuff.
No worries.
Yeah. So yeah, eventually we shut that down, and I was looking for my next thing,
Right.
and I interviewed for product Hunt,
Right.
as a front developer itself.
Right.
And the CTO back then was Andreas Klinger. He's now the head of remote and AngelList. Very nice person, very kind man. Uh, he already told me that I'm in the default disadvantage because I'm located in India. They didn't have a team back in India. They were restricted by time zones.
Right.
So I didn't make the cut, but he was like, kind enough to tweet a few people's name. He thought was really good, but couldn't be selected because of other reasons. And that tweet kind of, again, he's an internet celebrity. That tweet went viral. Um, I got like a bunch of job offers, and I ended up moving to Berlin. So I moved to Store2B, which is a Berlin-based startup. It's kind of Airbnb for live marketing spaces. I joined as a product engineer there, and this was also the time I got introduced to the logistics of remote teams. Like the following months, I had a couple of conversations with Andreas regarding how remote teams work, what are the biggest problems that are faced by remote teams. Yeah, that's how I started Carrom, and then the journey started, and now we are here.
Awesome. So you mentioned about Andreas being, tweeting out your name and everything. Has he been a mentor to you, or through support throughout the Carrom journey as well? How has that
Yes.
relationship helped you in building the company?
So it's again, he's a very busy person, but that's like an Egelabia relation. Like we can reach out to him when we want, and he'll respond. So
Okay.
So yes, a mentor, someone who I look up to.
Right.
And whenever you have doubts, because this is new to me, I think building a startup on my own was new to me. So you always hit some brick walls every day,
Right.
and then you would want to ideally ask someone who have been there, done that, and
Right.
ask them. Um, again, so I could always reach out to him, ask questions. He sometimes he was ready to get on some calls, give some advice, very
Right.
valuable advice.
Right.
So that has helped us a lot. He was also, again, he was an expert in the whole remote work and the remote space. So again, a very authoritative person to give an opinion on what will work or what will not work. So it was a great opportunity for us to work with. Yes, yeah, it was like he's a person I look up to always, still do.
Sure. So when you were working on the product, right, on Carrom, so it started as a side gig, is what you mentioned.
Yes,
When you were still
yes,
working with Store to Be. So
yeah.
coming to the other point, who was your co-founder? How did you find your co-founder? This is what I usually ask. It sounds a bit
Yeah.
funny for me in my head itself, but again, who was your co-founder? And
I uh,
yeah,
I actually found my co-founder almost 10 years ago from my college.
right,
She was also she was a classmate in my when I was doing my computer engineering. We also like started in TCS together in Chennai.
right,
Then we like split path, but because not split path in life, but in
right,
professionally.
right,
Like I joined a startup. Like I joined Freshworks. She was still in TCS, and later she joined a different startup. And like we had with idea of Carrom, with just a one-liner idea, we had applied to YC Startup School,
right,
um, and we got in. That was also like the year that famously YC kind of messed up sending the invitations for startup school.
right,
So we were actually in. So we got into the advisor track, which had mentors and everything.
right,
And we also after 2 months we got married. So me and my co-founder, then she's now my wife, we
right,
got married. And so looking for a co-founder was very easy for me. Like, she mostly works on the back end,
right,
Ruby on Rails and all that.
right,
I work with the front end.
right,
So if we want to build a product, that was our default option. She take care of it. Like later days, I moved away from engineering. She would take care of the whole building the product, and I would take care of talking to people and the product side of stuff.
good.
So yeah, that was my way of finding the co-founder.
Awesome. So coming to the exit part of it, right? You, I mean, the whole story of building the academy. When we had our offline conversation, you had mentioned about how operationally intensive it was, and later you decided to take a break from there, or shut down for a while. Can you walk us through that journey and
Yes,
how you
yes,
actually ended up having the acquisition offer from Oyster, that investor connect that you
yes.
mentioned also?
Exactly. So again, I want to be as transparent as possible here. So it was not like a flashy journey. You build something, it grew up, and then you get acquired. It was not like that. It was a really tough journey, but absolutely worth it. Uh, every step we were hitting a brick because it was kind of a 0 to 1 problem. And nobody was doing this. Exactly. Right now, there are a few names like Remote.com, Oyster, who are doing the same thing. But when we started, it was kind of new. So
Right,
we had to figure out a lot of things, legal stuff. We being software engineers, we have no idea how logistics work, no idea how legal stuff work. So it was a lot of figuring out. So it
right,
was not like heads down building the software in the beginning. It was a lot of figuring out how stuff works, build, scrap stuff, rebuild. Like the version of a product that like it is right now was completely different from what we started. Like obviously every startup works like that. But again, there was a lot of scrapping the product, a lot of rebuilding the product, which was again it was a great learning opportunity. And uh, so in few months we figured out how things work, how can we build this. We started building our MVP, we talked to a few customers, started onboarding a few people, and that again that's when we knew to scale this we would need a lot of money because we would need to hire a legal team, or at least we need to freelance some legal stuff, some financial stuff, because again we are dealing with like employment laws in different countries. So we could do this. We could do this trading our time, but this wouldn't scale. I mean, this would be just a company. It wouldn't be like a startup, like a high growth startup, which I wanted to. Like I wanted to build a growing company, not just trade my time for in exchange of money. So that was not my idea. I mean, again, that's also a good thing, but that's not just what I want. Uh, so that's when we decided. So I tried raising funds. I talked to a lot of. Actually, the space was really heating up. I got in calls from a lot of investors, inbound calls. I never had to try and reach out to investors.
Right.
But again, when they see the fact that I'm like the team is pretty new to starting up. Like I don't have a previous exit, or I haven't done something cool. I don't come from Google or like MIT, Stanford. No big names in my resume. Just a tier 2 college somewhere in a small town. So this was a big problem. This is a really big issue when you're trying to raise funds, especially because this market or this product is so hard to execute. And ideally, from their perspective, which I totally understand, you need someone who has been there and who has been executing some big complicated problem to take this forward, which in their eyes was not us. So they would ask for traction, but the traction would only come if we had a lot of funds to scale the company. And again, so this was like a chicken and egg problem with traction versus like the funds. So that's when I thought maybe we should do something differently. Maybe we should do something small. So my idea was to, again, that's when I wrote the blog post about why are we stopping operations now, and what I wrote it like very. I was very honest with things like what is not happening, what is working, um, and that was a big turning point. Like that blog post, a lot of people reached out following that.
Right.
Mostly they wanted to know what was my experience building this, because again a lot of people are wanting to build this solution because the space was heating up. It was getting a real thing. A lot of remote teams, everybody got hired, and that's also when his name is Pietro. He runs Connect Ventures in UK. He reached out to me. He reached out to me via some other investor that I had talked to. He was head of AngelList in AngelList EU. He was the one who talked to us regarding investing in Carrom, and a friend. They were mutual friends, and he introduced me to Pietro, and we had a few emails. We exchanged a few emails. I consider that a very normal conversation, because I have been
Right.
having many conversations like this.
Right.
And then this happened. He came all the way from London to Berlin to meet me, and then I know this is getting serious.
This is getting real.
This is getting real. I mean, I haven't seen that before. Usually investors they have their cliche terms that you use a lot, and they go off. But this was we exchanged a few mails, and he was immediate to act. That, can I meet you in Berlin? I can come in next week. And I said, yes, why not? And we met for a beer in Berlin, and again, then things started happening quickly. He told me, "This is it. These are the things. There is Oyster. Oyster is doing something similar to Carrom, and this is he put me on call with the founder of Oyster, CEO. We had a short conversation on our phone, and then he told me their product roadmap for next 1 year. And I told me I took the laptop out of my bag and showed them, this is the product, this is your roadmap. I've already built this. And so the moment of striking moment was when they told they want to build a TransferWise integration to make the payments. And I have already built this.
Okay.
I have already done exactly the same thing. You can just do a click to pay all the employees at once, run the payroll. So that's these moments kind of started clicking and coming together. And from there we had few calls over next week when Tony, the CEO of Oyster, he's in London, and the other founder of Oyster, he's in San Francisco. So it was all happening in Zoom. We had a few calls, and then they made me an offer. and I thought it was a rationally good offer to take. So, and yeah, the acquisition happened.
Awesome. So now you work as their product manager, right? So how
Yes,
and Kirti has moved out, is what my understanding.
exactly. So
Correct.
again, this was a decision we had to make. We both of us could join, but that would be awkward for two reasons. One, the two people working at the same startup could be risky, like like putting your eggs in different baskets, kind
Right.
of theory. But
Right.
that is not like the primary reason. Second thing would be running a company together and working at a company together would be different. Like the
Right.
dynamics and everything.
Right.
Especially me being on the product side and she being on the engineering side. I,
Right.
that would be, I don't know, might be fine, might be smooth, but again, she was enjoying her
Right.
new job. She's leading a team of few people, all good there. So we thought this is a rational decision to make, and
Awesome.
yeah, that's where we are now.
Awesome. So I think with this we are coming towards the end of the first segment. But before we close, I have two questions for you. One is
Yes,
is
please.
there any company that you wish co-founded that you co-founded?
Mhm. There are a bunch. I mean, of course, like I mean, this might sound very cliche thing for entrepreneurs to say. I like companies who are affecting people. Like affecting people's daily life or building, like making people's life better. I think product hunt. Sorry, I mean Stripe is one.
Okay.
Stripe is enabling a lot of people to start internet business.
Right.
You know, uh, that something again. It's literally changing the world.
Right.
That is something. If I want to pick one, that would be Stripe.
Awesome. My next question is, which is your favorite book?
So this is also a hard question. I mean, recently I've been reading how to influence people and win friends by Carnegie. It's mostly because I wanted to improve my communication skills. I think I have been historically an introvert. I've been bad at talking to people, but I had to force myself to change that. When you run a company, you have to talk to people. It was totally out of my comfort zone initially, like getting on calls, talking to people, customer interviews, talking to VC. So this is a book that affected me personally, as in like improving myself as a person. So that is one of my favorite books. And if I want to go to non-fiction side, I still read kind of Paul Rama.
Awesome. Everyone
Probably
does.
everyone does. So it's still a favorite. I mean, again, probably a cliche thing, but I still read it. I still love it.
We can pick up a whole separate conversation between Sutran and Mayavi. So that's that. I
Exactly,
okay.
exactly.
So with that, we come to the end of our first segment, and we're going
Great.
to our next segment, which is called as Photo Walk, where we have a couple of photos from your journey. Maybe if you can
Yeah.
go through that pictures and share your memory about your picture or about the picture, that
Yes.
would be great. Here is our first picture.
Yeah, this is my co-founders of Market Fox.
Right.
We are standing on the Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco.
Right.
So the first week of moving to Bay Area, this is a must visit for everyone, right? Like Golden
Right.
Gate Bridge. So yeah, again, this was also my first time in US. Actually, my first time probably I have been to Gulf one time before that. That's it, like Bahrain. But yeah, this was my first. After adulting, this was my first visit outside of India, and yeah, very life changing, as I said. And yeah, this was on Golden Gate Bridge. Three are with my three co-founders, Mohammed, Sojan, and Soni.
Awesome. This is our second picture.
Yeah, two. I think this picture is probably 8 years apart.
Okay.
And like, back in the days, I never had an Android phone, so the pictures with both of us are very rare. During college days, I only have a bunch of pictures, maybe like
Right.
5 or 10 pictures where we are together in college.
Right.
So this is probably one of the earliest pictures, maybe 2011 or 12. So we wanted to replicate this for like this picture for our marriage.
Awesome.
So that was the marriage day, like 16th of September last.
Okay.
almost 2 years ago, 2018, 2019. Sorry, no, it was 2018. Yeah, sorry.
I hope Kirti.
That,
I'm not going to edit this out. I hope Kirti.
it feels like, like although we have been married for less than 2 years, it feels like a really long time.
Sure.
It's a
Okay.
good thing, I guess. So yeah, that's it.
So this is our next image.
Yeah. So this is the blog post I mentioned. Like this was when my morale was, like the worst.
Right.
Like I was not making any progress. I basically says that a lot of operational work involved,
Right.
and the traction was hard to come without the funds, and the fund was hard to come without the traction. So basically, I tried to put all the problems in that one sentence, and then it's the explanation of that. It was like the least
Awesome.
point of the joke.
Yep. So with that, we come to the next. Completing
Sure.
the journey or story, sort of an image. But yeah.
Yes. Again, yeah, like very self-explanatory. Again, one of the happiest moments in our life together.
Right.
It was, again, to be very honest, it is not as flashy, or it's not like WhatsApp getting acquired by Facebook, or it's not like a huge fancy acquire, but still, I think it is a big moment in my life. It's a big milestone. I'm taking myself to the next level. Uh, at least I could see off the company. I could exit the company. I could use. I learned a lot of things building
Right.
Carrom over 2 years.
Right.
Very domain specific knowledge, very like startup specific knowledge. I'm happy that I can use that all that knowledge to still solve the same problem. And the best part is, I think I already mentioned this on our one-on-one call. I've been doing this for free for last 2 years. Now I'm getting paid for it, which is
Right.
great. And plus, so this is an exit. So it's a great feeling.
Awesome. Okay, I think with that we come to the end of that round and move on to our next round, which is a rapid fire
Yes.
round. We have a bunch of questions for you. You can take 5 to 10 seconds
Yeah.
to answer
Let's
that.
see.
Nothing serious, you know. So we'll start with the first question. Describe your startup in 2 words.
Accelerating remote teams. It's 3 words.
Okay, that's okay. If you could trade lives with one entrepreneur for a day, who would it be and why?
Very cliche answer, Elon Musk. I mean, probably every. So I want to know, like he has this theories of working 100 hours a week, right, and being very ultra productive and everything. Just to get a feel of how does that look like from a personal perspective, and what goes through his brain. It's not just one company, right? There is Tesla, there is SpaceX, there is Boring Company. I just want to know how it feels like.
Absolutely. And I don't think we've had one knowledge series session without Elon Musk coming into picture somehow.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sometimes people want to build a company like, but yeah, just putting it out. The next
Great.
question is, if you were to do a startup again, what would you do differently from Carrom?
Yeah, I would only start building the product after talking to at least 100 people. So this was a mistake I made multiple times. As an engineer, you would want to get your hands dirty, start building stuff. I wouldn't do that again. I would talk to at least 100 people before like actually starting to build stuff.
Awesome. Okay. What makes you more productive?
All these tools, like I use Pomodoro technique to feel productive. It's like 25 minutes plus 5 minutes break. Plus, I think what makes me most productive is the work, depending on the fact that the work I'm doing should be interesting to me.
Right.
Whatever you try, if you're doing a work that you are not interested in, you won't be productive. And I don't want to force myself. So doing things that I love is the best way to be productive.
Okay. Um, what is your best memory associated with your organization?
So with regards to Carrom, I think it would be the So we got rejected in Y Combinator interview in Paris, 2019 November, November. So that was it's a huge experience. I mean, again, meeting all those people, I was very, very, very nervous going into the interview. I still remember, like, I was all cold and I struggled like, first 30 seconds was a struggle. Like, the words were not coming out. It was that kind of feeling, but it was a great thing.
Okay. Cool. So with that, we come to the end of the rapid fire segment. And before we break, we have one ask for you.
Mhm.
Basically, if you can suggest us, one person to bring to our knowledge series to have a chat like that we had just now. It could be anyone. It could be a wish list also. But if you can suggest or recommend, if you can give an intro, nothing like it. One person that we
I,
could.
I, th- yeah, I think I can. So maybe three people, because
Awesome.
three or more, because that my previous co-founder Sooraj and Sony, along with a few others, there is Pranav, there is Nitin, there is like five people. They're building Chatboot. It's an open source alternative to Intercom.
Okay.
I think again they have Sooraj and Sony. They have been through this whole Y Combinator journey. They are really smart engineers. They're very nice people.
Right.
I think this is a bunch that should be you should talk to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've
Could be
already
rich.
had one
Again,
recommendation to bring in Chatbot founders. So, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Suraj. This has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And thanks a lot for joining us in the I2E Knowledge series. And in this conversation, I absolutely loved speaking with you. Thanks a lot.
thanks for having me. Just like again, it was a pleasure talking about the whole experience, reliving all that. Thanks for having me.